Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. So it's JMA Friday at gasweatherviz.com. We're going to have a look at weather for the coming month from the Japanese model. We'll have a look at the 500 millibar height anomalies from the JMA. Look down from a northern hemisphere view for the coming month, break it down into weekly pairs. And then have a look at the mid-latitude view and see what's going on. Going to be a very extreme blocking pattern setting up through the course of the coming month. I think we'll be looking at some severely cold weather and copious amounts of snow possibly as well. So pretty severe weather being predicted by this update from the JMA. Well, before I get on with that, just say about the ads at GasWeatherViz. There's links to articles on all of the pages. Have a browse widgets and click through the links if there's any articles that you're interested in. Thanks very much for doing that. There's video ads on most of the pages, which open up the content when you watch them, close back up again. And it does all help to pay for the website. So let's get on with it then. And we're going to start off with the week 1 anomaly, looking down from the northern hemisphere. It's taken us from the 2nd through to the 9th. What we've got here is a big area of above average height setting up around Greenland and going down through into the Atlantic, loads of blocking there, and then a really, really deep trough running to the south of that. This trough is so deep that you can barely make out the UK, but the jet stream is a key factor. It's going down like that underneath this trough, and that's allowing severely cold air during the coming week to push out of Greenland and out of the Arctic via all of this blocking up here. So we're basically looking at an extreme negative NAO pattern, again blocking to the north, and this very, very deep trough of low pressure producing copious amounts of snow, with all of this cold air being pulled out of the pole into that trough of low pressure. And have a look at week 2. This taking us from the 9th through to the 16th. We find, again, we're in a really block pattern here. The ridge is, again, out to the west and going up to the north country. Maybe a slight relaxing of the cold at this point. The trough of low pressure is more towards the east of Europe. So perhaps slightly more of an Atlantic influence here through this middle part of the month. But overall, this is still cold. The jet stream is still going to the south of the country. We've got all of this blocking again out to the west. And the flow, although it's a little bit more Atlantic in origin, is still coming down from the north. Expect further snow through this period. And then we go through to week 3 and week 4. This takes us from the 16th through to the 30th. It is going to cover the Christmas period as well, and the pattern gets even more extreme again. So look at this, the blocking going further north back towards Greenland. We're losing that slight Atlantic influence. It means that the trough of low pressure is centered to the east and the south of the country. The jet stream with this is going like that, and the flow. So again, this is a very extreme pattern that we're seeing here. Loads and loads of blocking setting up to the north, particularly around the Greenland quadrant of the Atlantic. It allows the air to be pumping down, or pushing down I should say, from the north and the northeast. The origin of that air is going to be Arctic base, so this is extreme cold that we're looking at again through the second half of the month. Very, very extreme conditions possible here, with lots and lots of snow, and I won't be at all surprised to see some cold records falling, especially as we're running up towards Christmas. Let's have a look at the mid-latitude view to have a look at the temperature and precipitation anomalies that go with this. So we're going to start with week 1 again. Remember, this is going from the 2nd through to the 9th. This is a very, very extreme blocking pattern. We've got the trough of low pressure through the UK. By the way, I should say the UK is just here in the top right-hand corner of the chart as you're looking at it. So a very, very extreme blocking pattern here. This is about as extreme as it gets for the UK. And the block, again, is up to the north and west of the country. You can't really make out the pole, but the block does extend up towards Greenland, and the pole, this deep trough underneath it, allows all of this cold air to spill out of the Arctic into the UK. Look at this temperature anomaly. This is probably one of the coldest temperature anomalies you're going to see. The UK is just here in those deep blue colours. So the temperature forecast is really off the scale for the UK, with the anomaly coming out over 5 degrees colder than average. Take a look at that. You're very rarely going to see a temperature anomaly as cold as this in the UK from these charts. Remember, these charts are a little bit biased towards warming anyway. They're climate models, essentially, so they're a little bit biased towards warming. Could be even colder than that is suggesting for the coming week. Remember, this is going from the 2nd to the 9th. Precipitation is actually coming out a bit drier than average, which you would expect because it's so cold. But anything that does fall is going to be snow, of course, with those anomalies so extreme. Week 2, from the 9th to the 16th, does see a slight relaxing of the pattern. There's a little bit more of an Atlantic influence. It's still cold, but there's a little bit more of an Atlantic influence coming through there. The temperature anomaly, that comes out colder than average, but not as extreme as the coming week. So the cold is relaxing as we're going up towards the middle part of the month. And the precipitation anomaly, that's coming out generally drier than average as well. Excuse me. And then finally going through to week 3 and week 4, the pattern gets more extreme again. So look at this, the blocking going back to Greenland. Can't see it, but it's going back up here towards the pole. The trough of low pressure is to the south and to the east of the country. This is colder conditions pushing back again as we're running over the Christmas period. Remember, this takes us from the 16th through to the 30th. The temperature anomaly comes out very, very cold. So after that slightly, excuse me, again, after that slight relaxing of the cold we have in week 2, week 3 and week 4 turns potentially quite severely cold once again, with at least the anomalies going at least down to 3 or 4 degrees below average, possibly even more. And the precipitation anomaly, again, it's a bit drier than average, but anything that falls here, both in week 1 and again week 3 and week 4, anything that falls through this period, and whilst overall it is a dry period, anything that does fall is almost certainly going to be falling as snow. Week 2, about middle part of the month, the second week of the month, that could deliver us more of a wintry mix because the anomaly isn't as extreme. But overall, we're looking at a very, very extremely cold month of it. It could well be the coldest month since 1890. Really, really cold and potentially severely cold and snowy at times. So the message from JMA Friday is wrap up warm. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.